Hunter Darling, High Definition Sports. Mock Draft Monday's going. It's 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Later on in the video, it should be tagging you to my next video or my previous video. I believe it's the Arizona Cardinals one. So if you're into checking those out, I'm also going to do 7 round mocks for each team. I think right now the Titans, Giants, Browns one will be coming out tonight. So, I mean, if you guys want to check those out, please hit subscribe. Let's get into it real quick. We're just gonna do one round, no trades. I don't like to do the trades. First of all, I just not a fan of doing them. First, I think the trade model on these are broken, and I don't like to speculate on things that haven't been reported yet. I know I've heard a lot about the Cowboys possibly trading up, but we'll get into that later in the video. Let's just get it kicked off. Fernando Mendoza, pick one. Really like Fernando Mendoza. I know you guys saw. If you haven't seen the Raiders video, go check it out. I'm really high on him. I think he's a really good quarterback, really good processing, really accurate. I think with the right system and the right fit, this dude would be a top quarterback in the league. It's just you know, can Vegas be competent enough to make that work? Pick two. I know you saw my Jets video, so I'm going to explain this the best way I can. I don't think they're going to take a swing on David Bailey. I think he can be a really good pass rusher in the league. I am a little skeptical of him being this elite style pass rusher. I think he'd be a really good one. Um, like a comp for him would be like Brian Burns level, which is still a really good pick here. Um, I would like to see more of an anchor, especially in those when he's doing his run fits and collapse in the pocket. I don't see a lot of, I don't know. I just, to me, there's a lot there to his game that I kind of like him. I like him a lot. And when I say these things, I'm not taking a dig at somebody. I'm just telling you the truth on how I feel about him. So, with that pick and the untapped potential of Arvell Reese, I think this is the team to do it. Just take a swing on it. You're not going to be competitive this year. You're going to be better this year, but just not, you're not going to be a playoff team. You're clearly betting on 2027. Arvell Reese, you have time to figure it out. Arvell Reese at two. Pick three. I'm not going to go David Bailey here, obviously. I'm going to go Francis Mauigoa, play right tackle. They need a right tackle, man. The offensive line needs some work. I like Froholt. I like signing Siamalu, but I mean Paris has been great. You need to shore up that offensive line for no matter who's your quarterback, even if it's Jacoby Brissett this year. Pick four. I think they're going to go Jeremiah Love, who I think, in my opinion, is the second best player in this draft, if not the first best player in this draft. Jeremiah Love. Make Cam Ward work. Get that offense rolling. I know you got Brian Daboll. You got to get this offense working. So, pick four, Jeremiah Love. Pick five. Now we're here at pick five. In my opinion, the best player in this draft is Caleb Downs. I think, judging on Harbaugh and his background, having Kyle Hamilton was such a pivotal part of him being with the Ravens, and they should have made a Super Bowl. Um, I think getting a guy like Kyle Hamilton and Caleb Downs would be unreal for this defense, and I think that's a perfect pick. Pick six. Let's get it going. I'm very interested in taking a receiver here for the Cleveland Browns, and I'm also interested in going offensive line. Now, the thing that would be fun is to take an edge, but I kind of like Alex Wright. I think Alex Wright's not bad. It's not worth it, and they have so many other needs that as much fun David Bailey or Ruben Bain would be here. Um, Ruben Bain's got a little scandal going on right now from 2024. Um, this stuff kind of happens on draft day, and it's kind of a terrible circumstance of it, and it's a consequence of someone's actions. So, sorry to hear that. Hope all's well, and yeah. Pick six, though. Okay, this is where it's going to get tricky because a lot of people that are doing these mock drafts don't have these offense tackles flying high. I think a lot of offense tackles are going to go first round. I do. So, for me, the pick for me, in my opinion, would be Spencer Fano or Monroe Freeling. I am inclined to take Monroe, but I do think they would like a guy like Cardinal Tate as well. So that's it's gonna be so tough to make this decision though. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Cardinal Tate. I'm gonna go Carnell Tate. I think there's too much there with the Ohio State background. Um, the dude can win. Really good at contesting catches. Gotten better at it. His route tree is limitless. Good size. I mean, this dude's a really good wide receiver, and I think getting him paired up with Shador Sanders is, if that's what your move is to go into next season, that'll help Shador tremendously. I know they're trying to piece together a wide receiver room. Carnell Tate's a good way to do it. Commanders. It's going to be between Ruben Bain and David Bailey. I think before the controversy happened, they would go Ruben Bain. Okay. It's do you still think that that's going to happen? I don't know. So, with that being said, I think the Commanders go David Bailey here. Um, they like pass rushers, man. Dan Quinn likes pass rushers. He always has. Saints. Now the Saints are here. They need an edge as well. So I'm inclined to go Ruben Bain here for obvious reasons. But but they also need a receiver. They also need a receiver. Ooh. So I'm gonna take a corner here with the Saints. And I know I probably shouldn't do that, but I'm gonna do it. I think they need a corner, man. They've lost corners. That corner room needs some work. And I know yeah, I'm gonna go corner here. I'm gonna go Jermon McCoy, and I feel really good about it. That's my number one corner in the draft, Jermon McCoy. Pick nine, Kansas City Chiefs. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs, take Ruben Bain Jr. here. I think they'll be complete. I've heard a lot of people say they're going to take wide receiver. I think it's a little early for them to take wide receiver. They might do it later, but getting a talent like Ruben Bain to pair up with Chris Jones is a serious, serious, great problem to have, man. As much as they like to rap, as much as that defensive line likes to wrap Chris Jones around, Ruben Bain's perfect. Not as big to fit with that spag system, but he's not that small either. He's stout, built really well. So Ruben Bain, pick nine. Pick 10. It's not going the way the Bengals would like it to go. So I think right now is tricky for the Bengals. I think Vega is a good pick here. Uh, Vega's a good pick. I don't think they're going to go Kenyan Sadiq. I also think Spencer Fondo's a great pick here too, as well. They could go Sonny Styles, but I just don't see them picking Sonny Styles. Mm, kind of talking myself. I kind of like their corner room a little bit, but I'm kind of talking myself into Mansour Delane as I do this. This has not really worked out in their favor at all. I mean, Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain, David Bailey, uh, not really working out in their favor. Yeah, Mansour Delane, Cincinnati Bengal. Uh, dude has great tape. Great tape. He's honestly a seriously good corner. I don't think he's going to be an elite corner by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he's a very good corner. And the defense needs work. So obviously getting a pass rusher will work. There's not really a pass rusher I would really take right now. So Mansour Delane's a good pick. Miami Dolphins need everything. Need everything. Right now, pick 11, Makai Lemon. Done deal. Run it off the board or offense tackle. Here's the thing. The offensive line needs a lot of work, man. A lot of work. And I'm inclined to take Monroe Freeling based off of this dude's measurables and how special this young man is, man. He is a really good offensive tackle, really good against the run. I'm inclined to take Monroe here just so he can develop. He's more of a higher ceiling guy than Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu. I'm gonna take Monroe here because I think this team needs a guy like that. Their corners are off the board. I would go corner, one of these two corners, if they're still there for Miami. Um, pick 12, Dallas. Run the card up there, Sonny Styles. Done deal. Get it done. Sonny Styles is the Dallas Cowboy. Dallas Cowboy Nation's going to be losing their minds of this completely. Pick 13, Los Angeles Rams. Hmm. The way the board's shaken out is I would lean offensive tackle, but it's not really McVay's style. And with all the ongoing controversy with Puka Nacua, but also the fact that you can get a young receiver who will fit this McVay offense to perfection. Tough as nails. Really good contested catch guy. Great in zone. Just as much as the McVay offense likes to beat zone coverage, this guy's perfect for that. Okay. Makai Lemon. Even if you get Puka back, it's Puka, Makai Lemon, Devontae Adams. You're instantly a Super Bowl favorite off rip. 14, Baltimore Ravens. This one's tricky to me because you can either go offensive guard, which would be Vega, or tight end and Kenyon Sadiq. They've lost Isaiah Likely. I believe the pick here is Vega. I think it's Vega. It's everything Baltimore stands for. I've seen Sadiq a lot of times. It's not really what Baltimore. I mean, I know they keep taking tight ends, but you can get one later in the draft. That'll be fine. I don't think you can get another Vega in the draft. There's not many Vegas in this draft. Get Vega. Vega, 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 Vega. And if you don't, someone's going to trade up and take him. He's that good of a player. 15, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a great team, great organization, but they've kind of down on their luck here. This is a team that would look at a guy like Kendrick Falk, shockingly. If Kendrick Falk's going to go in the first round, a team like there would look at it. I don't think they're going to go Keldrick Falk here. I think if there was a corner here that they would take, they would do it. So now it's going to be like a best player available type of situation. I don't think they're going to take Colton Hood here at 15. I think they would look at a guy like Max. I'm sorry, not Max. Excuse me. I think they would look at a guy more so like Akeem Mesidor. I think Akeem Mesidor would fit Todd Bowles' defense significantly and does everything you want. He's very pro ready, which is exactly why I think he's a huge fit for the Tampa Bay defense. And I would take Akeem Mesidor here. They're great at wide receiver. I know they just lost Mike Evans, but they still have a really good wide receiver room. Jets, we went Arvell Reese with the first pick. With the next pick, I'm really inclined to take Jordan Tyson here based on the way the board's going here. But, but, I'm also looking at a guy like Dylan Thieneman. I'm also looking at uh, where did he go? I'm also looking at a guy like Christian Miller. I believe the Jets trade back from this spot, but I'm not going to do trades. So I'm thinking I'm going to take Jordan Tyson here and feel really good about this wide receiver room. Really good about this wide receiver room. Now you have Adonai Mitchell to see what happens with him. You still have Jordan Tyson. Now you have Garrett Wilson. So you have three guys that, in my opinion, are extremely talented guys in that wide receiver room. And you're clearly betting on 2027 taking quarterback then. That is a perfect pick for the New York Jets. They can go quarterback this draft. I wouldn't do it. So it's not going to happen. Detroit Lions. Caleb Lamu and Spencer Fano are here. That's going to be the move I'm thinking of. Dylan Thieneman's also here. This is really worked out for the Detroit Lions, man. This has really worked out for them. Because they lost Taylor Decker, they let Dan Skipper go. I don't know if they brought him back or not yet. I believe they're going to move Penei Sewell over to left, so I was going to play right. They could just leave Penei at left. I think Spencer Fano makes perfect sense for this team, and I think that's the pick for the Detroit Lions. Spencer Fano, try to protect that offense. Do the best you can. You're doing with a new offense coordinator. Do the best you can, help him out as best you can, because it's going to be really tough to get back to the success of Ben Johnson. But if you get talented players in that offense, it'll definitely help tremendously. Minnesota Vikings. Man, Dylan Thieneman is just kind of set in stone, and I kind of don't like being the same picks over and over regurgitated down your throat. But it is such a good pick, and it's such a seamless fit. They do need D tackles. I'm not that high on Peter Woods as everybody else. Dylan Thieneman's the pick. Pick 19 for the Carolina Panthers. Caleb Lomu's here. Great pick. That'd be so awesome. Dylan Thieneman would have been awesome as well. They can go wide receiver. Um, and I know they are a team that is kind of like, if I'm betting for the Panthers to make a pick, I'm not, man, that is a really tricky one. I know this thing says tight ends in need. I guess it is, but it's not really a pressing need. Don't really. I like Jalen Coker a lot, and I like Tet. I don't like Leggette's game. I don't think he's going to work out at all. But I would be inclined to take a guy like Caden Proctor here and just bet on the upside. Um, but knowing Dave Canales, I think they would lean Caleb Lomu. So that's my rationale in thinking this through. So I'm gonna go Caleb Lomu here for the Carolina Panthers. It's kind of boring. Offensive line's boring, but it's the most important part to your team, man. Get it a good offensive line. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to the gym. Like I know everybody wants to have, broad shoulders and but you gotta hit legs. You have to hit legs. If you don't hit legs, man, you have no foundation. Legs are everything, man. Okay. Get your legs, get offensive line. Cowboys. I think the Cowboys, remember, we got Sonny Styles. They're feeling great about it. Ooh, it's gonna be tricky here. They could look at a guy like Colton Hood. They also could look at CJ Allen. Um, if they obviously don't get Sonny Styles. So I'm just trying to think about this through. They don't exactly. I really think they would look at Keldrick Falk. They don't have a corner that I would take here. There's not really a safety I would take here either. Interesting. Interesting. I'm really thinking Max. Yeah, not sure. He has Dallas Cowboy written all over him. I don't really think they're going to go Blake Miller. They really need offensive tackle, man. I mean, Tyler Guyton, Steele. I mean, they really got to figure out this offensive tackle position, and it'll definitely. I'm going to go Max. Maxie and Achor, Dallas Cowboys, pick 20. And if you guys disagree, man, I promise I don't take it personal. Feel free to comment. Um, I will answer every comment that's there. So feel free to let me know. Steelers. Also, probably going to take a quarterback this draft later, but they're probably also looking at 2027 as well. They would look at a guy like Vega. I'm leaning towards Caden Proctor. I think that this is going to be three straight offensive tackles, man. Caden Proctor going to be off the board, and the Chargers are going to be SOL most likely. Another guy that I'm thinking for the Steelers would be a wide receiver like Casey Concepcion or Omar Cooper Jr. But as I'm thinking about it, I'm really, now that I just said it, now I'm really kind of stuck on Omar Cooper Jr. Yeah. Yeah. With Mike McCarthy too. Yeah. I'm actually going to do it. And I think they'll be extremely ecstatic about what he provides to the team. He's just a dog. He is a great wide receiver. Omar Cooper Jr., the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick 21. They're really ecstatic about that. Which also brings us to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers. 49ers, I was thinking about 49ers about a certain pick. Um, they can go a lot of ways here. They can go Keldrick Falk, which would be awesome. Caden Proctor, which bring in Mike McDaniel. Hopefully you get Slater and Alt back, but you let go of Mekhi Becton, right? It's kind of what I'm thinking about Caden Proctor is bring him in and kind of get him established. And you can slide him at guard, no problem. And if Slater goes down, which it's gonna happen, they're gonna get injuries. You need a guy on that team to kind of shuffle it around. There's not really an edge I would take here other than Keldrick Falk. So yeah, I'm kind of not really feeling that. The way the board's shaking out, Caden Proctor, no more Keldrick Falk, we'll go Caden Proctor. Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock. I don't want them to go. I'm an Eagles fan, so I don't want them to go Kenyon Sadiq. I don't want them to go Keldrick Falk. But as of right now, if AJ Brown's staying, I know. If you guys see it, I did an Eagles video based off of them trading AJ Brown. I think they're going to move off Casey. I think they're going to get Casey Concepcion or a guy like that, or a guy at that level. There's been a lot of talks about it, but you know how talks are in draft. It could be just complete bullshit or not. Um, but with the board shaking out this way, Kenyon Sadiq, kind of nervous about that one. But okay. Cleveland Browns. With their pick, we took Carnell Tate. Um, feeling good about that one. I really do feel good about that one. With the board shaking out this way, though, I think a guy like Blake Miller would be a huge pick for this team. The defense is already there. Obviously, you got a new defense coordinator because Jim Schwartz left because he wanted to be the head coach, and they said, "Nah, bro, we ain't gonna do that." All right, pick 25. This one, I'm interested to see how this one works out. If it's a situation of preference, there's Caden McDonald, who I like a lot. I do like him a lot. There's Peter Woods, Christian Miller. Christian Miller to me is the best defensive tackle in this draft. I'm inclined because I think they're going to go defensive tackle to take Christian Miller. I believe he's the best defensive tackle in the draft. Huge pickup for the Bears. Bills on the clock. They traded for DJ Moore. They still need another wide receiver, man. So they need an edge as well. I don't think they're going to keep experimenting, taking guys like Keldrick Falk, which they've done countless times. And if they do it, they'll do it like day two, which makes way far more sense. They obviously won't do it with their pick. But a guy here that seems to catch my eye is a guy like Jacob Rodriguez and CJ Allen. I really feel like a guy like Jacob Rodriguez makes sense here, or a guy like Avion Terrell. It's tough. We also have, I just don't see him. I don't see them double dipping at receiver. I'm inclined to go CJ Allen here for the Buffalo Bills. I think that's a really good pickup. Okay, San Francisco 49ers. This is the team that wanted Omar Cooper Jr., but you have a beautiful consolation prize here in Casey Concepcion. Dude is a flat out stud. Stud. Well, easily one of my favorite players to watch since his freshman year of college. Like since he left high school, he's been one of the best receivers in the nation every time. Go get a guy like that. Okay, Houston Texans. So they really kind of bargained their way out through free agency and built a pretty good offensive line, man. Like they made some really good contracts where I thought you would have to normally overpay for guys like that. I don't want them to take Peter Woods here. I'm more so leaning to a guy like Caden McDonald, and obviously they can go linebacker as sort of a need, and I don't think they would go tight end. Obviously they're fine at receiver. I hope Tank Dell's okay. They addressed safety by getting Reed Blankenship, and that was such a good move. Jacob Rodriguez would be awesome in this defense. However, the way they keep doing it is bargain binning their defensive line. I would get a guy like Hayden McDonald to shore it up, get some consistency in there, and it'd be such a good move, man. Chiefs, we took Ruben Bain, and that's nasty. Chiefs are looking nasty. If you want to go wide receiver, you can here. A guy like Denzel Boston sort of makes sense, but a guy also like Avion Terrell makes sense. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, D'Angelo Pons, no. I'm okay, depending on the medicals. If they go Denzel Boston, right? Why wouldn't you go Chris Bell? I think Chris Bell is a far better wide receiver than Denzel Boston. I do. I think he's a far better receiver, and I would take Chris Bell. But with that being said, man, it's really because I know they want an offensive tackle. The offensive line has really been kind of shaky. But getting another competent wide receiver, while hopefully Rashee Rice gets his act together and he plays a full season and he stays healthy, hopefully he can figure something out with Worthy. And you don't want to keep making Tyquan Thornton a thing. Like you want to get a guy that kind of brings some film, just another weapon in the arsenal to help out Patrick Mahomes. I'm inclined to go Chris Bell. And if you haven't watched Chris Bell, please do. He's an insanely good football player. Dolphins. At 11, we took Monroe Freeling. We're feeling really good about that, man. Not taking Ty Simpson here. That doesn't make any sense. Not doing it. Okay. Colton Hood makes a ton of sense here, but I'm going to go Avion Terrell. I have Avion Terrell higher than Colton Hood on my board. And I know in his man coverage, in my opinion, is just as good, and has a better feel for the position than Colton Hood does. That's just my opinion. Uh, so with that defense, if you watched Green Bay last year, they didn't run a lot of man. Um, but if you watched his Boston College defenses, they ran man. I'm inclined to believe they want to run man defense, and I just didn't think they had the guys at in Green Bay. I don't think that's a good hire by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't necessarily have the confidence it's going to work, but coaches want to bring in guys that can establish a system. Every coach does it. Makes a ton of sense. New England Patriots. Ooh, I really want to pick Jacob Rodriguez here and just call it a day. And I really am trying to look for something to talk me out of it. But yeah, Jacob Rodriguez makes a ton of sense here, man. Ton of sense here. Has Patriot written all over him. Okay. The Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. The Seattle Seahawks, I'm gonna go Colton Hood. Makes a ton of sense. Lost Reek Woolen. Like you want another corner, man. Like I know you it's between him and Brandon Cisse. And then I mean Emmanuel McNeil Warren would be awesome on that defense. If I mm, I'm going to take the guy who I think is the second best corner in this draft for the Seattle Seahawks, Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. Yeah, make that defense unreal. So, quick recap. Fernando Mendoza to the Las Vegas Raiders, Arvell Reese to the New York Jets, Francis Mauigoa to the Arizona Cardinals, Jeremiah Love to the Tennessee Titans, Caleb Downs to the New York Giants, Carnell Tate to the Cleveland Browns, David Bailey get a pass rusher to the Washington Commanders. Jamal McCoy, add another good corner to that Saints defense, which is pretty, you know, pretty familiar. They always have a good corner. Ruben Bain Jr. to the Kansas City Chiefs. Just add him and Carl Loftus, man, and just bully offensive lines, him and Chris Jones as well. Mansour Delane to the Cincinnati Bengals. Kind of really like that move. Bengals are kind of in a tough spot with their team and the way it's set up, and I just think it's going to be tricky either way the draft goes. Mansour Delane's a good pick. Monroe Freeling to the Miami Dolphins, pick 11, good one. Sonny Styles, awesome pick to the Dallas Cowboys. Really good. I like that range for him. I like that range. Top five seems a lot for a linebacker. Makai Lemon to the Los Angeles Rams. Vega Ione to the Baltimore Ravens. Oh my gosh, that's such an insanely good pick. Akeem Mesidor to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good pick. Jordan Tyson to the New York Jets. Just building to 2027. Looks great. Spencer Fano. Slide him in for Taylor Decker. Feel great about it to the Detroit Lions. Dylan Thieneman. Seamless fit. Don't need to talk about it. Minnesota Vikings. You probably heard every guy in the world talk about that pick. Caleb Lomu. It's the Carolina Panthers. If you're going to make Bryce Young work, man, give him all the help he needs. Protect him, protect him, protect him. Max Iannaccio, have to figure out the offense tackle spot for the Dallas Cowboys. He's an athletic freak. Hasn't been playing football that long either. He's a good player. Has good tools. It's kind of a bet. It's kind of like Tyler Guyton all over again, but I think he's better than Tyler Guyton. Omar Cooper Jr., really good wide receiver to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Caden Proctor, athletic freak. Has all the potential in the world. You just want to see him develop more and grow more. I think that's a great place for him to go is the Chargers in Los Angeles. That's great. Kenyon Sadiq to the Philadelphia Eagles. Great 40 time. Great 40 time. Good catch radius. Interesting fit. But I think that's what they'll do, and it makes me a little bit nervous, but it's hard to not bet on the tools. Blake Miller, Cleveland Browns. I like Blake Miller a lot. I like him a lot. So I kind of like that move. Him and Carnell Tate. I like that, helping out Shador. Chicago Bears, Christian Miller, best T tackle in the draft, not close. CJ Allen, Buffalo Bills. CJ Allen's a great linebacker. And I think that'll be a great pickup. As much as you want to help Josh Allen out, I think the way the board fell out, helping Josh Allen out is getting him a defense to get him stops in the playoffs and hoping he goes back to his old self, doesn't turn the ball over. San Francisco 49ers, Casey Concepcion, awesome wide receiver. You're going to let go of Ayuk, be done with that mess. Awesome wide receiver. 28, Houston Texans, Caden McDonald. Just best defense in the league. Chris Bell, 29 of the Chiefs. Awesome move. I really love that move. I know he tore his ACL, and that's kind of shaky, given the history of it. But he's an outstanding receiver. He really is, man. If he didn't tear his ACL, he'd be higher, in my opinion. And he's probably, I hope he goes first round. Avion Terrell of the Miami Dolphins, really good corner. Really good corner, just not as big. If he was 6'2", he'd be a top 10 pick. Jacob Rodriguez has New England Patriot written all over him. Chris Johnson to the Seattle Seahawks, as if that defense wasn't scary enough. That's it for us. Round one done. Um, yeah, man, let me know what you guys think, man. If you guys like this content, if you guys disagree, I'll reply to every comment. Again, nothing personal, just my thoughts.